No, I didn't look over your shoulder.
If that's gonna put it, you know, it's approved. So.
Okay, we'll try to get the show going here in a second, so, you know, mute your phones. That clock's 5 minutes slow. So we'll try to see what we can do about starting this somewhere around 6:30.
Brucey said we're good. We're gonna put flowers in the middle and put some hope.
Swallow the mic when you're talking.
Except for John.
As they say in Hollywood.
John doesn't need this.
You need a mic.
You don't give him a chance to get you. I came here to go into food Sunday.
With all the gray hair, we don't say I can say that. That's me. Get myself. I can't see. I don't know, I just showed up.
It's on the agenda, so anybody can get up and speak at the beginning. Yeah. If their name's not on there, they should put their hand up. You want to know if they can speak about politics. We'll try to nip on that one. Good evening. It's now 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, August 21st, 2024, and we are here at the luxurious Pine Ridge Condominium Association Hall. And we're here for the Board of Directors meeting. Before we start tonight's meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to take a moment, little memory for a couple longtime residents. Ed Rickey, great friend and neighbors to all of us for a long time, and Bernadette Kalachek. Oh, you know,
You got both of them.
rehearsal. I'd like to have a moment of silence for both of those individuals. May they think in silence. Thank you. May they rest in peace.
Now let's all stand and recite.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Michelle, would you please call roll?
John Mel.
There.
Bob Geisler. Bob.
Here.
Tom Trino.
Here.
Buck Coles.
Here.
Bill Lakeland.
Here.
Andy Levin.
Here.
And I'm here as well, Michelle. All present.
Eric, was the meeting properly noted?
Yes, it was.
Next, we have our open forum. Did anybody sign up tonight, Eric?
Yes, they did. The first one we have is Skip Rufal.
Who? How you doing? I'm Skip from the village. Just a point of confusion I had. We were here, we watching people voting. He told me that Sunday was going to be family day and there would be no volleyball. I come down Sunday with my brand new knee and there's volleyball. How did that happen on Sunday?
We're gonna address that tonight.
I ain't asking you about that. You're gonna try to re-vote. You got you, and you. There's 4 people on the board playing volleyball. That's a little bit of stacked on the side. Do you recuse yourself from voting?
No, I didn't say what we were gonna do. I said we were gonna discuss
Well, then
it
answer my
tonight.
question. How did it change to Sunday?
Volleyball started on a Sunday afternoon because nobody was using the pool.
You don't give me the
There-
opportunity. I came down here, the stuff was already set up. What am I supposed to do? Tell them to get out?
There's nobody that's been denied use of the pool, and I was not aware of anybody coming down here and not being able to
Who
use the
changed
pool.
it to Sunday? How did it get changed to Sunday?
We voted on it at a meeting.
What meeting was that? Where was I?
You were sitting right over there because
I
I
was
took you out to
sitting there.
dinner afterward.
Is that the day you called it family day?
There
And
was
then
no-
you read a re-vote when nobody
There
was
was
listening?
nobody on the board that called it family day.
Excuse me?
You heard me. I said there was nobody on the board.
I
that
want
called
the
it family day.
tapes, and then I want the minutes from every meeting from the start of this year till now. I want a copy of every minutes and I want a copy of every tape. You know I got lawyers on retainer. I want to see if my time has been infringed. And nobody's giving an answer, because if you changed it on your own, you should stand up and resign, because you yourself broke it as not only board member, but the president.
Nobody changed
Nobody
anything.
changed.
It was all done by a vote and you were here.
May I speak? Skip, the meeting you're referring to was the November 2023 meeting. And that vote starts at 1 hour and 4 minutes into it, and it ends at 1 hour, 12 minutes into it. Somehow it was not included in the meeting minutes. And at that meeting, we voted to allow them to play volleyball on Saturday.
So you're doing it illegally.
Exactly. And Bill was one, and I was one that said we need to leave Sunday sacred.
That's
It's a day
correct.
of rest.
But
And
when
we all
you
agreed to it, and we voted for it, and that's how the vote was. And when your attorney goes back, that's the time you should, and it,
he knows I got great
It
attorneys
is.
on retainer. I give him something to do.
and the people in this community that played volleyball just changed it because nobody was at the pool.
You don't give
I don't
the
think that's
people a
wrong. I think
chance
that's
to
wrong.
come down.
I agree with you. It's totally wrong. And it shouldn't be. They play volleyball 13 times a week.
And you
That's
allow-
not enough.
I knew nothing about it, I'm not here.
Okay, you don't know nothing about it. I was also told he changed it on himself.
No, that's not true.
Board member told me, so you keep it up.
And we will be discussing volleyball tonight. Who else do we have?
Next we have Laura Jordan.
That would be me. Hello. Hi, I had some papers to pass around. These are my gutters. And, like this is my air conditioner. Just
Do you wanna give them to the board, Laura?
Yeah, of course the board will get one. And, yeah, this is my gutters and my, I've been trying to get these fixed. And you know what they are, obviously, or I wouldn't be here complaining. You know, I have to have my air conditioner with fire outlet changes the compressor fixed. A part of it, and it's only 4 years old, I don't know anything about, no, okay. Do you want to come on?
Sure, why not?
Thank
I
you.
live here, let me see what's
This
going
is
on.
my gutter, this is the gutter that's going down.
Excuse me, Laura, did you have something to address the board with?
Yes, I do, this, I'm giving you a copy too. Eric already knows about it, he suggested I move my air conditioner. But looking at the bylaws, Eric, it says if you move mine.
Can you step up to the microphone and let's get this over with?
Okay, hey, I'm sorry. Here, no need to fix it if you don't like it. Yeah. Okay, anyway, I pay my maintenance to maintain my
Would you please recite your
property,
name and
which
address for
this
the
would be
camera?
included.
Laura,
Laura, pay attention.
please recite your name and address so the people at home know who's
Oh,
speaking.
wait, that's a camera, good. Hi,
Speak
my
into the
name-
microphone, into the microphone.
hi, my name is Laura Doherty. I live at 4681 Lakeside Club Boulevard, Unit 14, Fort Myers, Florida, 33905. Okay. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I pay maintenance, and this is maintenance. Maintenance is to maintain the property, not to invest in real estate or anything else you guys feel like doing. We pay maintenance for maintenance, and this is maintenance, and I have been denied getting it fixed. That's why I'm here.
I can't even see it.
Did you turn in a,
Oh, I did, I sent in messages, I put in a thing in here. Sure, sorry. And I would like to get it fixed. I'm sorry, but it's just pouring down in front of my windows, on top of my air conditioner. One shows you the gutter on the top where it's coming from. The other picture shows you my air conditioner. And I can't move it, I looked. No, well, that was your suggestion, and then you drove
My
away
suggestion-
from me
my suggestion
because you
was to-
said I got angry.
My
Well,
suggestion
when
was
you
to stop
told,
yelling at me, yeah.
because I didn't yell until you told me to move the air conditioner, then I said, you got it, you kidding
You were
me?
yelling at me the whole time.
Oh,
It's okay.
sure, you have different hearing. And they making me talk in here. I think it's that. I have a legitimate.
Laura, you need to stay to the microphone so it gets across to
Okay, I would
online.
like to know what can be done about it and when, and that's exactly one of the things I sent to you, Eric, and asked you to let me know when. And you got mad at me because I told you how much it cost me to get my air conditioner.
$174.
Right, and I told you the next time you're getting it because it's pouring right into my compressor. And that's when you got mad and suggested I move
I
my.
didn't get mad, I didn't respond.
Eric, you should have been a politician.
No, I just wouldn't respond to that. So I'm saying,
All right, end subject. You're right. Why don't I just fix the gutters, please?
Yeah, as you all know, we have our gutters cleaned on a regular basis, and those guys also inspect the gutters. We also have some very heavy rains here, so,
Excuse me.
unfortunately, yeah, I see the water overflowing on the gutter. I don't know if it's just isolated to your building or
While
if
you're
there's
there,
a
Bob,
problem
I'll show
along
you
the whole
know.
gutter.
Right
I know
now.
that,
Yes,
Eric
Sharon.
has been looking into the,
Excuse me. I'm just gonna show you the picture. I'm not starting trouble. This here is the way it goes. And this here, the one I'm showing you here, this is across this black line, which means it's going across to Sharon, but, you know, she might not have that one day. But my air conditioner stopped going.
Yeah.
Because the water stopped my compressor. So my air conditioner is 4 years old. I'm not a happy camper about this. I didn't have to pay for the parts, but I did have to pay for the labor. And I feel if you don't want to fix that gutter, next time I have to go home, you guys should pay for the labor.
Thanks for bringing that to our attention.
You're welcome, anytime. I might be, oh, I have to go on my phone.
Barb, are you doing the social club?
I'm doing both.
Well,
Which one do you want me to do
First,
first?
we're gonna do the social club at the committee room.
Okay, so then I'll just do this one thing. I have asked that you guys did a wonderful job putting up that bridge for us, but we're doing a lot more activities at night here. And walking back over the bridge, the lighting that's on there is not ample. It is totally dark. Those little solar lights are not cutting it.
Yeah, we're gonna try to add some new light.
Could you please add some real lighting?
We're gonna do the best we can.
Okay, thank you.
and that's it.
Thank God, right?
Do I have a motion to read or waive the reading of last month's minute meeting?
I'd like to waive the reading of the minutes from last month's meeting.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Well, things have been pretty good around here, I think, except there's been a few minor issues. I don't see Michelle Locke here. I did want to thank her for being out in the heat, and keeping that flower garden for the butterflies looking great and weed free. It's not something that the landscapers are going to be doing for us. So we've talked about the gate on and off, you know, the arms coming down, the arms getting knocked off. We shortened them up. Then they got knocked off a couple more times since then. So as looking at that, I'd like to make a suggestion or have Eric get Bruce to go out there. I believe we have what we need. And if we were to put one extra traffic lane separators, one of those delineators, white plastic post, right at the gate where it comes down. And if that were in the middle, that would keep people from swerving over. What happens a lot of times when two individuals go through that gate, a little bit different than one another, first person goes through because that arm comes up. That arm on the other side might come up 5 seconds later. First car goes through, second car goes through a little slow and a little cautious of that big concrete pillar there, so people tend to move over a little bit while that arm is up, but as they're coming through, that arm drops back down, and that's where it gets taken out a lot of times. So I think that would cure that situation that we've had out there for too long. And as always, when you see or hear something in our neighborhood, the best first thing you should do is call 911 and report it. Whether you see a fire on the other side of the perimeter wall, hear something that sounds a little too close to gunshots, although it could be a backfire or fireworks around here. Yeah, call the police. Don't necessarily call John and tell him you heard some gunshots. Call the police, have them come out, they'll come out. It was also reported there was half a dozen police cars on the other side of the fence one night, along with fire truck. So there are a lot of things going on around the outside of this neighborhood, and that's why our concern is to keep all the residents in here safe. So awareness, 911 if you think there is a real problem. We get a little bit of fan mail every once in a while. I was planning on reading this anyways, and in light of things, I'm going anyways. I didn't write this. To all the cool kids, and then it says volleyball players. Just wanted to say thanks for making me feel real welcome. I really enjoy playing water ball, especially when the ones playing are friendly, kind, and like to have fun. Looking forward to seeing all of you this winter. Hope everyone's doing well. Stay active. I'm on the waiting list to Victor School of Volleyball. So I will be an improved player. And attention, Roy. And that's Kath and Donna Rupel. So it's signed like a doctor, so. Yes, people do have fun here, and that's what this community all is about. It's about keeping everybody involved and everybody welcome, and not denying anybody of any of the activities or private times in this community, and that's really what we strive for. Next up is our manager's report.
Good evening, everybody. We have lots going on in the community. Lots happened in the last month. First thing I want to talk about are some letters that are being sent out by FEMA that are related to flood insurance. The letter reads that your community has not done such and such and such after Hurricane Ian, and it's going to affect the flood insurance rates. When they say community, they are not referring to Pine Ridge, they're referring to the county. And you may have seen this on the local news, that FEMA is considering excluding Lee County from the flood insurance discount program because of the way certain repairs were done after Hurricane Ian. And the county has a deadline to complete those repairs, but it's not a Pine Ridge issue. The letter can be very confusing because it says your community in it about 30 times, but when they say your community, they mean the community as a whole, meaning Lee County, not Pine Ridge. So if you have that letter, you may want to call your insurance agent to see how it impacts you. There's nothing that we can do. We did everything like we were supposed to. And depending on what your agent tells you, you want to make a decision on whether or not you want to carry flood insurance or not, being that we're not in a flood zone and the county hasn't done these repairs and it may go up significantly. So that's something that you want to consider. But I wanted to clarify that for people because if you got that letter in the mail, you're probably pretty confused as to what they're even talking about. And I recommend you call your insurance agent and they can let you know what's happening. And I would assume the county will do what's necessary by November 18th, I believe is the date. But I don't know, we have no control over that. So I just wanted to start there. I wanted to tell everybody sales are starting to pick up. However, the prices are down a little bit from their highs in 2023. Rentals still seem to be doing strong, and we are getting good rental rates as the rentals come in. So that's a positive. Our Hurricane Ian insurance claim is progressing very nicely. Forensic engineers from the insurance company were out here for a week and a half inspecting every single building, and they're now compiling a report for the insurance company. We're waiting for confirmation that they are done and not coming back to do any more inspections, and then we can move forward with some of the other projects that we've been holding on, waiting for this. From what I'm being told and everything that we've seen, I'm anticipating that this is going to be a substantial gain for the community when this settles, that it's going to be a substantial amount, and hopefully will set the community up very, very well for the future. We had a couple reports of trespassers or people that don't look like trespassers coming in the gates or coming through other areas of the community. If you see someone that you think is a trespasser, call the police, or if anyone's loitering in a hallway or something like that that doesn't belong here, call the police, have it checked out. We would rather it be a false alarm and everything be okay. But if it is somebody that's not supposed to be here, especially in an odd hour of the night, please call the police, report it, and let's get that, nip that right in the bud, because we want to make sure that we keep everything as safe and secure as possible within the limits that we have. So please call the police. Bob referred to a little fire that happened across the lake. One of the electric transformers in the power lines caught on fire. And it was pretty intense looking fire. I saw some photos. Fire department extinguished the fire. Power was out here, my understanding is, for about 3 hours. And then it was restored. However, be careful around power lines. This isn't one of the things that you really want to watch for and be careful with, because it shows anything could happen. I never thought we would have something like that happen. Cleaning of the 19 buildings that have the TAMCO shingles from 2017 are complete. 18 of them are complete. The 19th one still needs to be completed, but it looks great. It looks 1,000 times better than they did before. And we did finally receive the reimbursement from TAMCO, so that money's in the bank. And that was one of the things that I was a little concerned about, was whether or not they're actually going to pay us or not. And that's a done deal as far as that goes. So I'm happy with that. Talking about hurricanes and things like that, September is the roughest month of hurricane season, and we're heading into it in about 2 weeks. Both Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Ian hit our area in September. So use that information as you will. Get whatever supplies you're going to need. Be ready just in case it does happen. You know what happens at the supermarket and all the stores when the hurricanes are on their way. It's best to be prepared ahead of time and have the things that we need. I started to fill some of our gas cans with gas shortly before Hurricane Debbie, just in case, so we would have fuel here on hand. And we're going to do our best to be prepared, and I hope everybody else does the same. Another warning for those of you who have dogs in particular, it is cane toad season. They're out in full force, from what I've been told, especially at night, and especially after a rain. These cane toads are very dangerous. They could potentially be lethal to our dogs, and we would never want to see anything like that happen here. We have a group that goes around and tries to limit the population for us, which is very, very helpful. However, they are a very invasive species, and it's a horrible thing, that they can do that to a dog. A great, beautiful animal could just from a toad. So we please be careful where you're walking your dogs, and be mindful of the cane toads, because they are at the end. Okay, they are very very deadly, especially to our small dogs. And then last thing tonight, and I'll finish up. I just wanted to take a moment and pay my respects to Ed Rickey, who passed away a little over a week ago. Ed was a great friend to me and a mentor to me. And he's one of the primary reasons that I'm sitting here right now, and I've been your manager for all these years. He actually interviewed me for the job, and recruited me for this job. And I'm very thankful to him for doing that, so I could be here with you guys in this great community. So I just want to say thank you to Ed for his friendship, and it's not going to be the same without him. We're going to miss him a lot, and condolences go out to Pat and the whole Rickey family. I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. yes, we all have very fond memories of Ed. Ed was very active in this community. I would like to say right up till, the end. Whether it was up here singing one of his several tunes, karaoke night, or in the pool with his wife playing volleyball. Very active couple, and I know, as with everybody that passes on from here, he will be very much missed.
I'd like to add a little bit to that if you would care there.
I would love it.
On the outage that we had on the power, the last 3 outages we've had here have been within probably an eighth of a mile of each other. We had one over here to school, which they had some connections loose, set the woods on fire, and we were out of power. The last 2 was over here in the same spot. They had a connection loose there and it burnt the wire down. It hit the ground. Evidently, these breakers are on automatic reset. So it tried to re-energize the line 4 times. And that's the reason you need to be really careful if you're around something that happens like that, because the line can come back and you don't have to have anyone there at the station to close it in before the power will try to come back on. And that's what set the woods on fire. I tried to call the power company, the FPL. Unless you have a physical address, you can't give them any information. They won't take it. I called the fire department instead, and to warn the firemen about the line over there not to go near it, so that they were aware of it. So if you're going to call in, make sure you have a physical address, because that one night, I bet you I fought for 20 minutes with them trying to give them an address when they had it over here to school. So, but just be careful. And one other thing on the generators, if you have a generator and going to use it during an outage, be real careful with it. I investigated 2 deaths from use of a generator. So just be careful with them. And it's not like some other piece of equipment you have in a house. It can lay you out quickly. So just be careful with them and make sure you don't use it in your house. And you'd be surprised at how many people have done that. So just a little warning here. Thank you. Sorry.
Hey, all good news. And just a side note to Eric's manager's report, that FEMA flood insurance, I did happen to see that on the news, and one of our politicians reassured us that they will get that reinstated in time. So I know that's going to make y'all feel secure, huh? Bill, do you have something more secure to tell us about our treasurer?
Yes, I do. I'll give you some good news then. First of all, good evening to everyone, and glad we had as many as we have to show up tonight. Really appreciate it. Shows that you are interested in what happens in our community. So I can report tonight that our treasury remains stable. The budget committee had a meeting on Tuesday, July the 30th, where we reviewed the projections for the operating side of the 2025 budget. It still needs some work, but Eric did a great job of trying to project the cost for the next year's day-to-day operating budget, which our community is pretty close to $500,000 a month, isn't it? Is what we have in our, what we usually spend for. So we make some money, but we spend a lot of money too. And sometimes it may not be where you think it should be spent, but we're trying our best with it. Eric and I now will be moving into working on the reserve budget for 2025. Budgeting for an organization this size will always be a challenge. And we will do our absolute best to provide everyone the best value possible. The next budget committee will be September the 12th. I think on your paper there it says August, but it's, and here in the clubhouse, and anyone interested is welcome to attend. Copies of the June balance sheet and income statement was out, and you can take and review it if you would like. And as always, if you have any questions on it, come talk to Eric or myself, and we'll be glad to get you an answer if we don't know it right then. 2:30, I'm sorry, 2:30 p.m. here in the clubhouse. September the 12th. We had August on the paper, but it's September. And one other thing, and I know I'm talking long, but I get wound up sometimes. But I just want to thank Eric for his work on the insurance side of trying to get us our money for our damages. If he hadn't took the ball and run with it, we wouldn't even have been talking about that. And there's several thousands of dollars that are involved in that. So we've got one heck of a manager, no matter how some of you may feel about him, but he does one heck of a good job, I think. And sometimes we don't always get everything we want, but just work with us and we'll try to do our best to satisfy all the needs that need to be done. May take a little bit, but you need to thank this guy. I think he does a thankless job sometimes.
I like the little guy.
That's all I got.
That's all you got.
That's enough, wasn't it?
And the lake is good, right?
Yeah, on the lake, one thing, if we need to talk to the landscapers, they've been cutting the last 2 times they've cut, they're turning the mower or the weed eater one and throwing the grass in the lake.
Yep.
So we need to, maybe want to mention, I forgot to mention to you before, but get an opportunity to mention that to them to try to help us keep that green stuff out of off the top of the lake. We're working on getting the rest of it removed. It'll just take a little while, but we'll get it.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay. Yeah.
Andy, you have an update for us?
Yes, I have a cable contract update. As you guys probably
In the
know.
mic. Can't hear you.
Closer to the mic.
Okay. As you guys probably know, the board voted and selected Comcast to be our cable and internet provider in May. This will greatly reduce the amount of money everyone pays for the internet currently. The agreement has been reviewed and redlined by our attorney and our manager and Comcast. And they've now approved almost all of the necessary changes at Xfinity and the Vice President. We plan on executing the contract on August 29th with our account executive. As we near the effective date for the services, you will receive notices regarding the new equipment and instructions for scheduling your free installation. I will keep you updated as we get closer to implementing this new program.
Thanks, Andy. And I spoke with Eric, and he's working on getting that switched on a little bit earlier than we had planned. So if he pulls the right levers and twists the right arms, we'll get this thing rolling out sometime in, dare I say, December. So it is possible, and that's what's being pushed for. Tom, do you have a rules update?
Yes, there'll be another Rules and Regs meeting on a week from Friday. So Friday, August 30th at 1:30 p.m. And I hope to get a copy of that that's got the changes and corrections in it out to those of you that are on the committee. I've got all your email addresses and we can review it then on Friday the 30th. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Bob, I know you have a few things we're going to be discussing later, but do you have a committee update report?
No,
No? Okay.
everything's quiet for the summer.
All right, everything's calm, that's the way we like it. And John, we really missed you last month, and we didn't get any reports from you last month.
So I understand that you had record time last month. You were out of here in a half hour. I got an hour report here, so here we go. For the last 6 months, I've begged for funds for 9 new poles, concrete, and lights to increase our security around the compound. I understand through our manager that we now have a chance of getting those. Also, we should all be concerned by the recent data breach that has all of our social security numbers. You need to call either Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion and have them put a fraud alert on your account just to protect yourselves. Eric has all the numbers. I gave him a copy of it. So,
And it was on the table when you came in.
so if you call those just to be safe. Not last, but again, lock all of your vehicles, your homes, your garages, your sliding glass doors, your rear lanais, your, what do you call it? I don't want to misspeak. The door, I wasn't going to say that, Michelle, don't give me in trouble. The door on the side of your garage, make sure you lock that. You don't want anybody into there. I had 3 people on Villa this week that one left their garage door open, one left their trunk open, and one left a right rear side door open. So I'm hoping that you all have installed cameras, so in case somebody comes up, you can see who's there. So please, be safe, and if you see anybody speeding, please report it. Record.
Well, thanks, John. And we have all these modern conveniences with your vehicle, and you've got that key fob with 3, 4, half a dozen buttons on it, and it just takes a little bit of a tap. Women, they toss that thing in your purse, throw the purse down, your trunk opens, and you're inside the house. So a good practice, if your car is parked outside at night, if you just perk up one ear and hit that lock button a couple times, most vehicles will sound the horn. If your trunk is open, your car is not going to lock, so you're not going to hear that. So that's a little tip on whether or not your car is locking. And yeah, I've seen a few garage doors open too. And I went out there one morning, mine was open. I didn't know if I had not closed it or if I accidentally bumped the remote when I moved it that morning off the counter. So
Lock the deadbolt on your, not just the bottom lock. The bottom lock really is not providing you very much security at all, but the deadbolt is nearly impossible for them to get through. So please lock the deadbolt. I recommend you do it when you're at home and when you leave. You do it when you leave. When you're not home, you'll never lock your keys in the house either, which is another good thing about it. So please, the deadbolt.
And lastly, we had our architectural review meeting this afternoon and did the second pass through it. Had a couple of minor revisions there. Those will be put into that document and given to those individuals at the meeting today for their, I'm going to say blessing. The board is also going to review that. After that, it will be going to our attorney to make sure we spelled everything right and didn't make any errors. Just to let you know, the update on the architectural guide, manual, whatever you want to call it, is mostly just wording, trying to make it easier to understand, reduce the verbiage a little bit, and make the forms that we do have that you have to fill out for requesting different, items, we'll say, are clear and easy to understand. We're not reinventing the wheel here. We're just cleaning this up and turning it into a better document with even an index. So, the goal, just to make this easier to understand for everybody. And now we have some old business to discuss.
Don't forget the social club.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, Barb Jacks. Please, please, come up. You have had a lot of things going on. You recently had a big meeting, I hear.
Yes, we did recently. We finally got a meeting in. We're trying to get as many events going on in the clubhouse, in the community as possible. We had 66 people come to our 4th of July picnic, which was a little less than last year, but it was good. Everybody seemed to have a good time and enough food. Let's see. We are now, instead of serving the regular ballpark franks at our hot dog sales, we're gonna serve the Hoffman hot dogs, which are native to my Syracuse, New York. And it seems like everybody I've introduced them to have fallen in love with them. We did have a movie night, Sunday night. We had about 10 to 12 people show up, which was a good number, and we hope to continue that once a month. We also talked about starting a visiting neighbor program where people can sign up to be visitors and people to sign up who would like to be visited. We have many people in this community that don't come to anything, they don't leave their house. We even had a suggestion that maybe people with golf carts would be willing to drive people that can't get down here for different events. So it's our hope and anticipation to try to get more people involved in things. And we're going to start a quilting group. There was some confusion about the date, but I think we've got it settled now. I'm going to have Lydia change the sign, but anybody that's interested in learning how to make quilts, come on down. Terry and her crew will teach you how. Oh, Labor Day. Ooh, the important one, Labor Day. We're having a picnic on Labor Day. You have 3 choices. You have a choice of a sausage, pepper, and onion sandwich. You don't have to have the peppers and onions if you don't want them. Chicken sausage, same thing. And a veggie burger is your 3rd choice. It's $6 a person. It's going to be in the clubhouse at noon on Labor Day, and you get a bag of chips and a bottle of water and an ice cream sundae.
One more time on what time that is?
Noon.
Noon. Louder, they can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Boy, I got a big mouth. Yes.
Noon on Labor Day. How many people were at the potluck do well on Saturday?
The potluck that I went to, there were only 6 people, plus myself.
They have a good time though?
Yeah, it was a good time. Come down. I don't do potlucks usually, but I do try to make an effort to come to every event that is done here. Just to pop in and say hi and thank people that are running things. So if there's something that you want to be in charge of, bring it to the social club. We'll discuss it. If you're willing to chair it, go for it. I know we had some discussion about Veterans Day. Some people wanted a dinner. Now, I've been here 4 years. We've never done a dinner for veterans. And my response was, if you want it, chair it, take care of it. But with the social club normally just provided pastry, Danish pastry, and coffee. So, thank you.
Thank
Barb.
you.
Thank you, Barb.
So we have some old business. We're gonna review and vote on seawall repairs from the hurricane damage. And Bob Geiser, Bill England, and Eric have worked with the contractors to compile and review the bids that we received. The three companies we sought bids from were WB Williamson Brothers, and then the other company, Williamson and Sons, and Marina Hodge. Bob, would you please review the bids with us and recommend a contractor?
Okay, yeah, we've been working on this quite a while. Bill's got a couple quotes and I got a couple quotes, and there was actually 4 companies. We left one off here because they were over $200,000. They couldn't justify to me how they could be over $200,000, so they got thrown out, but they did give out some nice ink pens, and there's coffee mugs in the kitchen in there with your name on it. So if you see Seabreeze Erosion, that's the company that was $200,000. Williamson Brothers, the brothers, they came in at $135,000. But in looking at their quote, they were a lot higher than the other ones I'll talk about, because they were actually going to remove all our stones and stuff and then start over from scratch. The other 2 companies that we have quoted are going to repair what we currently have. They're going to be taking out the broken concrete sections, replenish or fixing the cloth that you see underneath, and then adding new stones on top of that, and then repouring the concrete caps and repairing over by the pump house, the area where the sod it's fallen in. They're going to rebuild that dirt and put new sod out there. The third quote was Williamson and Sons, different than the Williamson Brothers. They came in at $67,750. The last one was Honch, Honc, which is another large company. They came in at $40,900, round numbers, $50,000.
49,
Oh, what did I say?
40,000.
Oh, yeah, 49,900, about 50,000. So they're about $18,000 cheaper than the other ones. They are a large company. You'll see their names all over on projects in Fort Myers. So I would like to recommend that we hire Honch for the $49,932. All of them were about the same lead time. They start in about 90 days to do it, so we wouldn't see anything going on until November. Part of that is their backlog, and part of it is obtaining the permits required, because the EPA and everybody has to stick their nose in when we get around the water like this. So I'll make the motion that we approve Honch.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead.
I know Honch has been around a long time. I've worked with Honch in the business that I do. And so they do have a good name. I'm not sure I know much about Williamson and Son, but I guess I'm just kind of wondering the differences that are on here. Did you talk with them? I mean, 30,000 for the cap on here versus 19.7. Like, I almost feel like Honch has there's going to be some hidden fees in there.
No, and actually when you bring that one up, Honch actually is quoting replacing it with a 6-inch thick cap, and Williamson and Sons was 2-inch. So their haunch is actually going to be supplying, something better, as far as thickness.
We took a lot of time to make sure that we were judging this apples to apples type of thing, because there was such a spread in the bids. And, I think Williamson and Sons versus Haunch is 6 and 1, half a dozen of the other. Haunch has been around quite a bit less. I would say Bob's on the right track.
So if they're not,
Bob?
if they're not gonna put a porta potty in, are they gonna use our bathroom?
I think that was a
Talk about.
nitpicky thing on their part to throw in $150 for a
One of them
porta
said
potty.
150 for a porta potty.
Yeah,
Bob, I know that you looked at all these and compared those. Can you speak as to the specifications on the different materials that one is using over the other? I'm sure that you looked into what type of
yeah,
quality.
well,
we're getting.
mainly riprap is riprap. It's not, it's rocks.
I would agree with Raj, yeah.
And, when you look at pictures of riprap, it all looks the same. It's, I don't think there's any differences there. In concrete, you've got concrete.
It would pretty much just be the
Yeah.
wood on it.
Okay, the wood cap for the seawall, is, we need to be using marine grade, which is what I think all of them quoted, is using marine grade, pressure treated lumber, 2x10s, and fastening them with stainless steel screws. They're all comparable. I think, as to one company, why they're 18,000 over the other one, it's what they want to do as profit margins. I didn't see anything different grossly in their materials or what they were going to do. Haunch, I talked to them, and they were very conscientious in talking about protecting our grass by putting down plywood. They would take the plywood up every evening so that the grass doesn't get smashed overnight. They're going to be using wheeled equipment rather than track equipment to minimize damage. And they did say that if there are any sprinkler repairs, that would be additional, but that's something that we normally would do through our Wednesday guy that comes in and repairs. It would be minimal. It's not that big a deal.
If we've got a sprinkler guy.
Yeah, we got a sprinkler guy, so that's not that big a deal. The one thing that they did talk about, which will require some logistics, is they're going to be bringing in the materials for this, and they want to put them in the parking lot.
We have to provide them. Like
We're going to have to provide a space in the parking lot because they'll be bringing in the trucks to dump the riprap and the dirt and everything, and then transferring it with small equipment to get it over to the lakefront. So we'll have to provide that for them.
I think they would start 90 days after we agree. Approximately 90 days.
Right, but how
Probably
long?
take a couple of weeks.
Couple weeks.
That would be my guess, 2-3 weeks.
Couple weeks for the whole
I
process.
would think so, yeah.
So do they need a big area to store the supplies?
They're going to be bringing in 5 loads of gravel rocks.
That's quite a bit.
That's quite a bit, so they may need, 10 parking spaces or so at least, I
Wow.
would think.
That's gonna put a damper on sale view.
Yeah.
Would the dog pound area be too far away?
Yeah, that would be way too far
That's
away.
too far away over by Barb's place?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely too far away.
Okay, scrap that idea.
Yeah, we're better off keeping it, the mess confined to a small area rather than spreading it all over the park.
It was just a thought.
Unless you want it in your
As long as
driveway.
it's not a tree trunk.
Okay. So back on to this. All in favor? Any more discussion first? Don't want to leave anybody out. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Very good company.
So we'll get that moving along.
Very
Just
good.
wanted to
say we do have the funds to cover that in our reserve, so, we don't have to worry about that right now. We'll replace those funds when we get our hurricane fund back. Thank you.
All right. I think we're on number 2 here, folks. So let's try to keep this calm and collective. Update written volleyball schedule to reflect actual schedule. Well, I want to say something first. It's never the volleyball's intent to deprive or take anything away from any others in this community. I've been drinking the same water as you folks, so I'm a little forgetful. I didn't go back and look at the tape to review it. But I do remember what happened. I know there was a lot of discussion. And I think we may have said something along the lines of, let's try this out and see how it goes. But now we're here today, and that's all in the past. On the Sundays that I've gone down, if there are enough people willing to go out and play, I can't think of more than a couple times where there's been 2 or 3 other people down there. I know there's a few people here that play volleyball. It's just not members on the board. And as you know, we get fan mail. People like to come down. They like to be active. Ed Ricky liked to be active. It made him feel alive, as it does everybody else. But even in saying that, we don't want to deprive anybody else of use. And I don't believe that that's ever been done. We're very welcoming of strangers that happen to come down there, and they're down here visiting family. We try to get people involved and playing. It's a complete different story during season. There's so many people down here playing volleyball that they have to have a sign-up list and a split schedule in the morning and 45 minutes, and then the other group gets in and plays. And Ron can attest to that. I think his plane got rerouted or something, got dumped off here. But so maybe there was some confusion on when it was supposed to be. I know Tom think that we weren't playing, but we have been all summer in the pool. Group has been getting together on Sunday evenings to play volleyball, 4 p.m. to 5:30. The reason this began, nobody was using the pool at the time. So, you sit empty or use it. Well, there's a lot of people here that like to be active. So that's where we're at now. I understand Jerry Long came by a few weeks ago and he said, hey, I don't know if it's scheduled right or something, what's going on? And we talked about it a little bit. He said, hey, the schedule should reflect what you're actually, remember exactly how he worded it. I don't want to, misspeak, but he basically said, hey, the schedule should reflect what's going on, or what's going on should reflect the schedule, meaning that if we have a dedicated schedule, it's posted, it's correct, and everybody knows. If you don't want to be down here at the volleyball time, then you don't come, and you come down when it says they're not playing. That's how it started. The board didn't just willy-nilly decide, hey, change the rules.
Yes, they did.
I believe that the note on the bulletin board got updated via the office.
The
Not
little
to
girl's
shift.
making policy now?
Didn't say that, so don't put words in my mouth.
You said the office.
I
So the
said
little
the
girl's
office.
making the policy?
Yes, okay, Lydia put that up there.
Somebody had it.
I did not speak to her, I did not talk to her. I heard through the grapevine that she found something on the computer, printed it out, put it up there. I don't know, I haven't asked her, and that doesn't matter at this point. So, where are we going from here is, what we have. Anybody like to talk about this on the board?
So
Any
listen.
discussion on this matter?
I'll defer to Michelle. Go ahead, Michelle.
Michelle?
First of all, you have to make a motion if that's
I'm,
what's gonna
I'm
happen.
just having
No.
an open
The
discussion based on.
The motion
comment.
gets made and then the discussion happens. So
Okay.
John's making a motion.
Do I have a motion on volleyball?
Okay, I'd like to make a motion on volleyball.
Okay.
What are we motioning on?
Right now, we're just
what's-
discussing. It's a motion to
Motion
discuss.
to
it.
discuss.
And I want to discuss it, so I'll put the second in, okay? Because I do want to discuss the issue. Skip?
All in favor of a discussion?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, let's have a discussion.
Okay. You are correct in the fact that what happened, what we were doing was not what was discussed, as I recall. Okay? The minutes from prior to January, I don't have access to because those were the ones that Ann took. So I couldn't even go back and look at that. I believe that there was time during Christmas, if I recall correctly, during Christmas, that there were so many families here and everything else that a lot more games were being played because people had a lot of family down here. And I think from that, because they were playing on either a Sunday and or the other days, that they kind of just got used to it because nobody was here. And that really was the reason, I believe, they started playing on Sundays, was because nobody was down here. The only thing I would like to say is the pool is open from 8 in the morning until 10 at night, which is 14 hours. So I understand people that say, okay, well, you're playing, that however many hours, 13 times a week. But in the afternoon, particularly even on a Sunday, that is 1.5 hours out of a 14-hour day. So I personally kind of feel like there's a lot of time for people to come down to the pool other than that time if there's a bulk of people that want to play the game. And during the season, it's actually going to get more because there's more people down here who really do like to play. So the idea of updating, I guess now, what the schedule really should be based on what it is that we're going to do, that's kind of where we are at this point. And if everybody is okay to say, look, I got plenty of other times to go there. If that's what they're going to do, that's what they're going to do. But I just do want to acknowledge, even my understanding was never that we had voted on playing 7 days a week. We didn't vote on it. We started doing it. But it was never done with any intention of we're just going to do whatever the hell we want. It kind of came out of that Christmas kind of thing, I think.
You're the board member, you're supposed to know better.
No better of what?
If you're
To
going
not
to
do
play,
it?
you're supposed to make it up.
Okay, there's nobody else talking, just the board member.
Excuse me, she's talking to me.
She's looking at you. You don't have to answer.
I don't have to answer.
No,
I
thank you.
saw you
Let's,
sandbagging.
let Michelle continue.
I just wanted to address what you had said because my recollection is that we had not specifically voted on playing on Sundays, and that was what I recall, so. And I say that to the board as well.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion. So here's what the deal is. During season, December 1st to March 31st, that is the season. That's when the snowbirds appear. They play Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Saturday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's my first motion.
Are we done with the discussion part of the previous?
Did you want to wait until I was done, or no? Go ahead.
We're still discussing, didn't we have a motion?
I guess you weren't ready, huh?
This is your transparent book.
John?
Thank you. And from April 1st to November 31st, the pool will be open and playing volleyball all 7 days at 4 p.m. That'll be Monday through Sunday. That will be my motion. Michelle, you got that down? So that there's nobody that can say something down the line.
Sunday to Monday. Is that mornings too?
We have nothing to do with mornings. Nobody shows up in the morning.
Oh,
Now, but what about in season?
In season, then it would be 11 to 12:30, Monday through 11 to 12:30, Monday through Fridays.
Yes.
And Saturday would be 9:30 a.m. till 11 a.m.
Discussion time.
Absolutely.
Second. Could we read that full motion, Michelle, that you wrote down, so we're understanding?
Yes. The motion is during the off-season, which is, December, sorry, I got trying to read my scribble here. The off-season was Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and this is during.
We have a motion on the
Month,
floor
yes.
to have the in-season will be from December 1st through March 31st. That will be volleyball in the mornings from 11 to 12:30, 5 days a week. And in the afternoons from 4 to 5:30, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
And Saturday.
And then Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. till 11. That's
No, Saturday in the afternoon too, he said.
in season, in the afternoon.
In season, Saturday afternoon, right? John, did you write it
We got a
down?
lot of people walking in.
Hand it to me.
Is there discussion?
In the off-season, which is April 1st through November
November
30th.
30th, yeah.
He's proposing Monday through Sunday volleyball in the afternoon in lieu of volleyball in the morning.
No, because
That's the way I understood it.
in season, he's saying they
Yeah,
still
in
have.
the off-season.
See how easy the schedule is to understand?
They do during season, they do in season.
No Sunday.
I don't see whether can leave it the way it
No
was.
Sunday.
No Sundays, season.
Well, I like to swim.
During off season, it'll be April 1st to November 31st, 4 p.m. Monday through Sunday.
I suggest you do that afternoon,
Okay, sounds good.
because if you get 4-1 against the other one, how you gonna vote?
Okay, so I believe I have it.
So we have a motion, and the motion is,
We'll do this in two ways. The
excuse
motion is,
me, please,
Quiet.
during season, they will play in the afternoon, 4 to 5:30 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay, in the afternoon. And in the mornings, if there's enough people here during season, they will do the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday from 11 to 12:30, and then on Saturday from 9:30 to 11. That's during season hours.
But no Saturday afternoon.
Yes, Saturday, but
No
no
Sunday.
Sunday.
No Sunday.
No Sunday during season.
So is that one vote,
That's one motion right now.
one motion there?
You want to vote on that
okay,
motion?
do I have a second?
John's the motion.
John?
Michelle's the second.
Yeah.
I'll second it, just to get the vote going.
Okay, we got the vote, and now we can have any discussion before we take the final. Any discussion?
I just want to explain what I was aware of. Okay, on November 15th of 2023, at the board meeting, this was not reflected in the minutes, which are available on the website, by the way. And Urban never put them in this vote in the minutes, but it is on the recorded tape of the meeting. And it starts at.
All of those tapes are on YouTube. If anyone can watch.
Yeah, it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. It starts at 1 hour and 4 minutes into the meeting and is voted on at 1 hour and 12 minutes. And what we voted on was to include Saturday afternoon in the afternoon sessions. Prior to that, it was only played Monday through Friday in the afternoon. No Saturday afternoon, no Sunday afternoon, and never a Sunday morning. So Sunday was left open for other members of the community to use the pool. We approved that, and as far as I'm aware, the volleyball's been playing both Saturday and Sunday ever since. Also included in that motion and vote at that time was to try that for the month of December and January, and then readdress it in February. And by February, we were on to the window battle, and this never surfaced again. That's what I know about the whole situation.
Okay, so now we're cleaning it up. Any other discussion?
Clarification for me.
Sure.
This doesn't mean closing down the pool.
No, thank you.
It
Never
only-
has.
No.
No, the pool is not closed, it's open. There's been occasions when we play volleyball and we have other people come down, they swim, there might be somebody bobbing along the sidelines with their parents. Last weekend, I don't know if it was Saturday or Sunday, whatever it was, there was a small birthday party and there were some kids with their little float toys down in the deep end with their parents, and they were having a good time. So no, the pool does not get closed, and it's never for exclusive use. Just like in the morning when we have the intense workout going on, other people can get in that swimming pool. As long as they're not bumping into those people that are working out, all's good. So there's no exclusiveness to the swimming pool. All right, so we have a motion to vote on. All in favor?
All right.
How many people are on the volleyball and the boat? Don't you count yourself?
So that's the,
Three of them
and that's only for the in-season.
This is an in-season vote.
This is the in-season vote, just
Sunday
no-
excluded vote.
Correct.
Sunday excluded vote.
All right. But Saturday's included, is that correct?
Yes,
On
yes,
this-
Saturday is, yes,
Saturday is or isn't?
is. Only Sunday is excluded.
All in favor, raise your hand so we can see.
Yeah, I think so.
So is
Well-
Tom, are you still a no?
No one has asked for the nay votes.
I'm sorry?
Okay.
Are we asking
You have
for nay votes?
four ayes, any nays?
That's what I'm
Nay.
asking. You're a nay, okay. Tom is a no, and anybody else is a nay? Everybody else is a yes?
Wait now. What has changed? I hate to get back into the discussion of it, what has changed from where it was originally? Are you just adding Saturday?
Sounds like they're gonna play twice a day on Saturday.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah,
During-
we're just,
This is during season, we're gonna have another motion for that.
yeah,
This is during season.
Sunday's gonna be off, but they're gonna play twice a day on Saturday. And 3 days a week during the week.
3 days.
I thought they were playing 11, 12:30.
3 nights.
Yeah, they,
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
It's the afternoon.
and Saturday in the afternoon.
Saturday and afternoon.
During the daytime, in season, it's Monday through Friday from 11 to 12, and Saturday from 9 to 11:30, and the afternoon stuff.
I think I agree with Jeff, I need a little whiteboard.
Yeah.
In season, it gets dark a lot earlier, so by 5 o'clock, the sun is pretty much done. So,
And
All right.
cold.
Okay. So we're adding Saturday. basically, in season.
Well, I mean, we did that before the last vote, but we're now saying it's gonna be
But we
permanent.
didn't come back and address it till after we said we would.
Yeah, after we tried it, said we will do it,
Yeah.
and then we never, I guess, finalized it, so.
Off-season, what would we do?
Wait,
Okay.
we have, I just need to make sure I have the vote on this one is
Ours-
1, 2, are you a yes?
Nay.
You're a nay?
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yes, Tom and Bill are nay.
Nays.
Now, this is our off-season, our
Are in season.
in-season schedule.
In season is.
The only difference on this in-season schedule from previous would be the Saturday afternoon is the only addition to this schedule from previous.
And in season is,
Previous being what we said back in November.
Yeah,
We're finalizing whatever we said in
Yeah,
November,
yeah.
basically.
Okay,
in season is defined as,
December 1st to March 31st.
okay, all right, just want to get there.
Okay.
So the vote is 7-2?
7 to 2, 5 to 2.
5 to 2.
5,
So if you take out the 3 volleyball people, it's 2-2, and they're supposed to break the tie.
Matthew, you're out of order again.
I don't ever.
no, Eric doesn't vote.
Amazing.
All right, now let's get the second part.
All right.
You want me to read it?
sure, yes.
Off-season, April 1st to November 31st, 30th. I was trying to steal a thing. Monday through Sunday, 4 o'clock. That's for all the people that live here year-round. Most of the snowbirds are gone by March or April.
No morning?
Well, you still want to make it available. No one's been showing, but you can still put it
Yeah,
in.
put it in there, mornings.
Yeah, Monday
From
through Friday,
Monday through Friday, 11 to 12:30,
Saturday, 9:30 to 11.
9:30 to 1,
To 11.
to 11.
Oh, I'll let you give a second. Motion.
So we have a motion to play volleyball every day in the afternoons in the off-season and Monday through Saturday in the mornings. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a second, Andy Levin seconded.
Any discussion?
Just want to go on record, I'm against playing volleyball on Sunday, all the time.
I have no problem with volleyball players. I don't play volleyball, but to me, Sunday is a sacred day. And it should be, I mean, you're playing volleyball 6 days a week, as you said, 14 hours a day. So one day, I don't think it's gonna hurt anybody. And I've had people ask me why we have people playing on Sunday before too, and I couldn't answer the question. So I'm just saying that my understanding when we talked about this before, we were gonna leave Sunday out of it. So, okay, I'm done.
I believe that's an individual thing. If someone wants to play, play. If they don't wish to play, don't play, but it's an individual right.
Thank you.
Kind of falls back to the Christmas story that we had here with the little village and the Nora. You know, so we're gonna drag religion into this, I
From an
guess.
administrative standpoint, the rule and what we're doing have to match so that way we can explain to people correctly. If we tell people the correct hours, they can modify their behavior and not come down the time that the volleyball isn't playing.
They can still come down and swim.
So, for people that don't want to hear it, they can, if you know from 4 to 5:30 they're playing volleyball, you're gonna come either at 3 or 5:30, after or before.
I'd like to make a motion and vote on that. Okay.
All right, discussion over. All in favor?
All right.
Here we go again.
Tom and Bill.
We have 5 to 2 again, okay. Like I said, I'm not against anybody having a good time. It's just, I just think it's a day of it. That's just my belief. Sorry.
Let's move on.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on. Got a couple more things. We got some new business to discuss here. We brought this up, discussion options for refurbishing the community dock. Eric and I have been discussing ideas for refurbishing our dock. Currently, it has rotted boards. It could be potential safety situation if we don't address this. And we certainly don't want to have a yellow rope around it and all that. Let's just get it done. I went out there. We originally thought, well, hey, nice Trek board on here, that composite stuff, that looked good, wouldn't it? Then we got out there and took a closer look at it. I agree with the comment that Bob made. If we were to use the composite board, we need to go with the commercial grade of the 2-inch thick instead of the 1-inch thick board, just to make it a little more secure. It gets heavy traffic, and we don't want to put the thin stuff up there and then, 6 months later, a year later, it starts warping or some goofy stuff goes on. Then I went out there and I looked at the foundation, the subframing of that dock, and what we have joists on there, that the top of some of those has gotten soft. I can take a butter knife and stick it into that 2x10 at the top. But in order to determine what level of decay we have going on, we're going to have to take the decking off and inspect it so that we can better determine the actual cost of having that done, and if we want to have that done in-house by Beth and Bob. Bob likes to get out there. So, Bob, do you have any thoughts on this? I'm sure that you've been out there looking at that too.
Yeah, I went out there. We've got one quote on doing it without anything done to the substructure. Just the idea of removing the decking and removing the railings first, because the decking is underneath the railing, so we have to remove the railing. We have the option of either putting the same railing back with a new top cap on it, or the possibility of going with some other decorative railing. That we'll have to price that kind of thing out and see what it is, or what's all involved in it. Just to give you an idea of where we are starting out with the first numbers is, removing the railing, we got a quote of $650. That's something that Matt and them can do to remove that railing to get it prepared. The removing of the existing decking and putting wood, the same wood back down. Marine grade wood, which I don't know if we got marine grade or not, because it has been replaced before.
It's just pressure treated.
Yeah. We're in the neighborhood of $11,000 without under repairs. If we want to go with composite decking, you got to add another 10 grand. So we're in the neighborhood of $22,000 preliminary numbers. I think that we should look closely at using an outside contractor, because this is a pretty good sized job, and there's a lot of stuff that needs to get hauled away, the old decking and all that kind of stuff. And we've got a lot of projects that Matt and them can do to keep them busy, where if we get an outside contractor, we probably could get it done quicker. And
11, I don't know if we figure out how much it is per square foot, but that seems pretty good to me.
yeah, it's 560 square feet is what it is. So my numbers, I can't add that up real fast. But it's
like 15 or 20 bucks.
yeah. So, but we've got a lot of things to look at on it, and so, we'll look at those things and see if we can have a proposal for the next meeting. 560 square feet.
That doesn't include the top rail that has to be replaced.
Comes out to about $20 a square foot.
$10,000.
I would say maybe you do the wood, marine grade wood, and build the railing out of composite to make it nice.
We could do something on the railing and go with the aluminum bars and kind of complement the fence that we use on the pole. But that's something that
That's
we
something
can
we
look
need to take a look
into.
at, look at the cost of all this stuff,
The,
and what it's gonna take.
the thing is that, better lack of description, I don't want to have an eyesore out there for months while this is dragging on. I'd like to, is there a way that we could come up with a dollar figure to try to stay within? And if we get a bid that is in that range, we could just move forward with this project versus coming back to the board again. What's the estimate that we could spend on this project?
Well, to put new railing up, I'm sure it's gonna be about the same cost per foot if we went with the aluminum that's out here around the swimming pool.
I would say let's get our ducks in a row with a goal of being ready next month to vote.
Yeah, because I could throw out numbers and they may be way off.
So I think
So,
rather than voting on it tonight, we'll work on it and we'll come back with a solid proposal for next meeting. So that way, everybody's comfortable with what we're doing.
Then we don't necessarily, if we're gonna go with a contractor, we don't necessarily have to tear this down ourselves right now. There's no sense in that. We know that when the contractor gets into it, he's gonna come and tell us that we need some choice boards on there. If we get a good contractor that gets down there and looks at it, he'll recognize that right out the gate. Now, to me, if we tear that thing all down, we have 10 joists running across there and 5 of them are in need of replacement and the others are what they would say, okay. Perhaps we should just change them all because we know that the ones that are okay today aren't gonna last as long as the new ones that we just put on. And we're not talking about that big of a difference. So let's get a quote on this thing to do what we would think is the right way to go and
That's how the goal of
get a
next month.
solid quote and move on with this.
I'd say in the quote, let's get the quote and give the contractor 30 days to complete in, and let's move on, because if we come back and vote, then we have another 90-day starting period. We're right back where we started from again. So let's cut this one short, because that is an eyesore, and second, it's a safety hazard.
I don't think we need a permit to replace the existing boards and not change the design. We know how that permit worked on a fence. It takes forever.
If we can pull it together, we can have a special meeting just to vote on that.
Yeah, that would work too. So let's get that together and,
Don't bring up a blank check. I think that's better.
no blank checks here.
Except the one,
You're already using honk, why don't you ask them?
we are.
They wanted $21,375. And that didn't include, the railing.
We replaced that just a few years ago. So
Yeah,
I'm
we-
wondering why we can't just make it smaller then. I mean, nobody uses it, you can't fix, the only thing.
We're gonna work on a plan and bring it back.
How about, like, we don't even need it, just let
What
them
we're-
finish the wall.
What we're hoping for is to use it as the place where they have the music, and I'll let the band set up on it instead of having to build something else. Be right there where you wanted it.
Let's move on.
Okay, we're gonna get that done. We'll come back next month with, some bids. And final, review fall, winter, administrative schedule, Eric?
So a lot of people have been asking me about the end of the year packages and all the end of the year stuff with the board and voting and document changes and things that we're doing. So I just wanted to, I printed it out for everybody, so they got it on their way in. But I want to just go over the dates, so that way everybody is clear on the different deadlines and the different things that we have going. So November 20th board meeting, that will be the board meeting that we are mailing out the budget packets. And you can pick yours up if you come in and pick it up. Contained in there is going to be your budget, your meeting notices, any rule changes that are proposed, or policy changes that are proposed, as well as the intent to run for the board of directors form. That's the form you need to fill out if you'd like to run for a position on the board. The deadline for that is December 12th. So you have 3 weeks to decide if you want to be on the board or not. Turn it in to us at the office by 4 p.m. on December 12th. December 18th is the December board meeting. That's also going to be the budget meeting. That will be where the proposed budget is either approved or disapproved by the board. There'll also be a mailing that goes out on that date that you guys pick them up if you come in, and that's the one that will have your annual meeting notices, your proxy form in case there are any changes to the documents that are going on, as well as your ballots for the board election and the envelopes which the ballots and the proxy go in, which we all know that process. And it will also have a candidate information sheet for each of the candidates that are running that submits one. So anybody running for the board can submit a candidate information sheet, and to 1 page, and that will be included in that package. On January 7th at 6 p.m., we're going to have a meet the candidates night here at the clubhouse. So if you have any questions for your candidates and to try to determine who you're going to vote for, that's when you want to come down and meet the candidates and learn a little bit more about them. I always say this, it's very important who you vote for, just like when you vote for your president or congressman or senator in like the federal government. You're voting representatives to vote for you. These are your representatives to vote for you. So who you vote for, that is very important. That's what you want to think about. Then on January 22nd, which is actually, if you mark it down, is the 4th Wednesday in January, not the 3rd. However, in order to have enough days in between the notices, we have to have it on the 4th Wednesday. January 22nd will be the annual meeting where we'll announce the vote total of the proxies. We'll count the votes for the election, which will need volunteers leading up to that. And then the board will have its organizational meeting and elect a president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. So this November, December, and January. Here's your schedule. If there's any questions, please contact me, but I wanted to make sure everybody's clear and knows when the dates and times will be.
That's something I have to ask about this.
We're almost to the questions.
It's about this, because I want to know how long.
When we get to the end of the meeting, we'll let you talk. We'll let you talk when we get to the end of the meeting.
Thank you, Eric. All right. I just want to make a comment before we take y'all's comment. We've got these condo buildings, Lori, got some water situation there. I personally am not involved with it. But one of the things that I will recommend to the board is when the roofs are redone on the condo buildings, those gutters should be what they now call super gutters, which are wider and will prevent that type of overflow when we get these torrential rains coming down. And we all know you get 6 inches of rain in an hour and it's going to go somewhere, and those, it just can't flush down the smaller gutters as quick. So that may be a way of resolving that type of situation for all of the folks that live in the condo buildings. So when that comes up again, Eric, if you could make a note to check in, because the gutters are generally taken down when they do the roofs. So those super gutters would make a huge difference in the downflow avalanche of rain that we sometimes all experience on all of our roofs here. So, does anybody have any comments on tonight's meeting? Tina, you're up in the front row. You were brave enough to sit there, so come on up.
I'm Tina Glenn and I live on Windsor Club Circle. When they're playing volleyball, do the stairs on this end of the pool, is there access into the pool?
Yes, there is.
Both ends.
There's 4 to 5 feet on both edges.
Okay. When they were talking about doing the lake, does that include fixing the sidewalks or is that something totally different?
The sidewalks are different.
When they do the lake, they're probably going to tear up a bunch of that sidewalk, not on purpose, but because of the big machines. So after they're done, we'll have to get an asphalt company to come in and fix what they damage plus the already stuff that we have.
Okay. And are we ever going to build, wasn't on the schedule, I guess. Are we ever going to build a golf cart?
That's on the asphalt program, we'll say. We have a list of items for the asphalt company when they come out, along with fixing different areas, potential damage from the seawall. And I believe Eric's been working on pricing for that bypass for the bikers, the joggers, and everybody, so that they have an actual option of going around the community without driving in the front of the condo. Basically it. So. Okay, next, Bart Jacks. You should have said in the front.
I forgot one more thing on my report for Social Club. We were wondering if we could include in the mailing that's going out for the voting, if we could put some Social Club information in there.
Yes, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's it.
No, that's almost dead.
Oh, there's Bonnie.
That's Bonnie. Bonnie.
Only 3 questions.
I can only
Hi,
see
I'm
so
Bonnie
far.
Robertson, Green Cypress. I just have a quick question on the annual member thing that you gave out. What's December 13th? What does that mean?
Statutorily, you can come in at that time on December 13th and nominate yourself or someone who nominates. So if you miss the deadline, you can come in on the morning. But I've been doing this for 13 years. No, we've never had anyone come to that meeting, so that's why I kind of said that.
Okay, and may I ask whose terms are up?
The gentleman to my right here.
This half of the room.
Okay, and the only other comment I wanted to make concerns volleyball. But the pool is not closed. It's open all the time. So I know that part of the pool is used for volleyball, but it doesn't limit anyone's use of the pool. Just saying.
Bonnie, can I respond to that?
Sure.
What the volleyballers don't understand, and you won't hear me when I say this, but it's very disruptive. Liken this to if you were at the pool trying to swim laps or just relax, listen to the music, and we had 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old boys or girls on this end of the pool, not necessarily jumping off the side, but jumping up and down constantly, yelling, throwing a ball, and so forth. You would think that was disruptive, that we wouldn't stand for that. Okay, it is disruptive, but you're just trying to have a quiet afternoon at the pool. It's not a problem. I'm not against volleyballers. Personally, I just think 13 or 14 times a week is plenty, but it is disruptive. Realize that.
Well, that's a matter of opinion, yeah.
I'd like the opinion that we're teenagers.
And vote Bonnie Robertson, what is it, the 13th? We got-
Oh, I'm sorry, Vicky.
Okay, I've got a couple things to say.
You need to get in your mind.
Vicky Franzen, Blackberry Drive, 4612. The whole thing about the volleyball on Sundays was not something that the board that Bob, John, or Michelle just said, hey, let's start playing on Sundays. We played on Sundays a year ago. It was brought up and voted on that we played on Sundays during off season. And last summer, we were playing volleyball on Sundays. The vote that was done in November was bringing up about adding Saturday to our in-season schedule. So you would have to go back farther in the minutes and stuff to find out why we're playing, when we got permission to play on Sunday. It's not something that we just decided out of the blue to do. The pool is not closed. And this is our time of exercise. This is our time to have fun. It's no different than people going over there and playing pickleball on Sundays.
What I would say is whatever happened, happened, but it sounds like we have a firm policy in place that we is the outcome of tonight, and we'll see how that goes.
Thank you. Can I make a motion?
And the other thing, gutters, I get overflow also when it rains hard, and my gutters are clean. So it has nothing to do with your gutter not being cleaned out or anything. It's probably like what Bob said. We just, when they redo the roofs, they just need to get wider.
You have to get your air conditioning fixed because it's falling on top of it.
No, because my air conditioner unit is on the side of my house.
I live in a house and I live in a condo.
But when I lived in the villa,
Excuse me, Vic, we're talking about condos, not
Okay.
private, not villas.
Right.
But it's still the same. No, it isn't. The water still runs over mine. That's your problem. I brought my problem here.
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
I gotta say one thing. How long have we had this notice about our information being out?
I think it was half last week.
And we're getting it now?
Well, it's on the news. It's on the national news.
Well, I don't watch that.
Yeah.
I only watch.
This is a courtesy.
this- I
We're
watch
off there. We're off.
international news.
That
not
wasn't
taking-
anything to do with Pine Ridge.
So how long? It's
Alrighty.
been out for almost a week.
It's
Do
on the news
I,
every single day.
It's on the news every single day.
do you have a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting?
I make the motion to adjourn.
And do I have a second?
Yes.
And do we have any discussion?
Yes. Two comments.
Two comments.
Have we got anything on the repairs on the fence, what they had to do so we could get the card swipe back
That
in?
we work with the country.
There were ways.
Yeah, they're gonna, they damaged the gate, they're gonna replace that, so, we're waiting on the gate, and I don't know if the fence has actually been approved by the county. But it should be soon with the official lock on the swimming pool.
One other thing, the fire department had sent a request in about using the pool. Where are we on that?
Yeah, I think we could just do that.
Okay.
We're not gonna have any, objection, I think, from the community. If we look at, we're gonna let the fire department exercise and practice in our swimming pool at probably 7 a.m. And as long as it's not a problem, we're trying to work with the fire department, and that's why we're gonna want to do it. So the fire department will be working out in our swimming pool in the morning, and we will update the community as soon as we know what the official schedule is. But Eric's gonna get the permission. So we're gonna adjourn this meeting. I'm sure we have an agreement by now. All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thanks for coming.
Did you just?
I would have put a plug in for here.
It's a Christian painting too. It's got the fish.
Oh, I see that, yeah. Yeah, see the signature the way it is?
Skip, you know this painter? Huh? You know this painter?
What's his name?
Kroeker. Croker. And he's got a little Catholic fish on the bottom. He must be pretty good.
Sorry for driving this.
Krocker.
Croker.
I thought it was supposed to be the neighborhood. And they blew it up on the
You need a ride, ladies? You need a ride? Of course I got a car.
Stop draining the road.
You want